downtown Detroit. The postseason plot thickens here in Detroit. They are revved up here as we are set for Game 4 of the American League Division Series. The New York Yankees, the winners of the American League East. The Detroit Tigers, the winners of the American League Central. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Detroit. Brian Anderson along with John Smoltz and Ron Darling. Great to have you with us. What a thriller we had last night. The Tigers win it. They go up 2-1 in this series. Now, you know the Tigers, they do not want to return to Yankee Stadium. The Yankees are facing elimination. But Ron Darling, you talked to both of these managers before the game today. They both agree that they are going to count on their prolific offenses to get them through this ball game.
You know, I think the Tigers have done a much better job of hitting with runners in scoring position. The Yankees and their veterans are going to have to get so much better. If you look at their lineup, Derek Jeter so far has had 12 runners on base, no RBI, including 6 strikeouts. The career postseason for numbers for Teixeira, that's something he's going to have to answer to. And Alex Rodriguez 0 for 10 in this series so far, but he can take solace. The clinching Rangers today, Adrian Beltre started that series 1 for 11, 3 home runs today.
Yeah, the Rangers await the winner of this series. Now, John Smoltz, the Tigers are going to give the ball to Rick Porcello. He is 22 years of age. He has a chance to pitch the Tigers to the LCS. Meanwhile, A.J. Burnett for the New York Yankees. He has been in the crosshairs of Yankees fans all season long. What an opportunity he has, though, tonight to extend the season for the Yanks.
Well, he can make a lot of people forget about his season with a good outing today. And I think for him to have a good outing, there's some keys to his pitching. It's release point. And, of course, you've got to be able to command your fastball. But it's the curveball that I think is going to be the success. He has to be able to carry this pitch to the catcher and not bounce it and lose the release point. Very important for him to be successful, for the Yankees to continue their pinning their hopes on Mr. Burnett. And for Rick Porcello, again, the release point very important. Different type pitcher, a sinker, hard sinker. He relies on ground balls. He has a little cutter to add with that sinker, and then a very, very good changeup. And this kid's been in pressure situations before. Look for him to be excited, but carry the Tigers to the next round.
Yeah, Rick Porcello, now he is the youngest pitcher in Tiger franchise history to start a postseason game. That happens next. Porcello and the Tigers, they're trying to advance. The Yankees, they're trying to stay alive. Game 4 coming up next. Crystal clear Tuesday night. Postseason baseball continues on TBS. 61 degrees. Just a perfect night for the Grand Ole game, and what a great setting here. The Tigers and the Yankees. Game 4 of this best-of-5 series. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Autotrader.com. The Yankees, their same lineup. 4th consecutive game for Joe Girardi, with Derek Jeter, Curtis Granderson, and Robinson Cano at the top of the batting order. In the middle, it is Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, and Nick Swisher. And the bottom 3 for Girardi is Jorge Posada, the designated hitter, Russell Martin doing the catching, and Brett Gardner in left field batting ninth. Gardner's had a good series so far for the Yankees. Derek Jeter, the Kalamazoo native, awaiting his turn at the plate, and there is the 22-year-old Rick Porcello. Johnny was 14-9 during the regular year. You mentioned his 5 wins in the month of July. His trend was a good month, then a bad month, then a good month, then a bad month. Why is that?
Well, you know, some of it has to do with the fact that he's a veteran already at 22, thrust into a playoff situation in 20. Can't even imagine. There's no room, there's no time for that development, so he's really trying to learn as he goes. And for this guy, we're going to be able to tell early on whether that sinker is late and hard.
Well, the defense behind Rick Porcello this evening. So look at the outfield. You got Delvin Young, Austin Jackson, and Don Kelly getting the start in right field. Infield, Bettamy at third base, Peralta, Santiago, and Miguel Cabrera at first. And Avila, despite a tender knee, still doing the catching.
Last night, the Tigers winning 5-4 over the Yankees behind Justin Verlander, who struck out 11 in 8 innings of work. CC Sabathia gave up 4 runs in 5 1/3, took a no decision. That was a big swing game in this best-of-5, and now the Tigers can advance with a win tonight. Porcello deals strike 1, and away we go from Comerica Park.
Whenever you're facing a sinker baller, as a team, the hitting coach is going to say, make him get the ball up. It's easier said than done. If he starts pounding strikes with his fastball, he'll get hitters to chase down in the zone like that. But this disciplined Yankee team, Ron, they know what it's like to have a disciplined approach towards a pitcher.
They're going to hope that ball comes out about waist high. That'll be the pitch that they will take a shot at.
Jeter is 4 for 15 during the ALDS this year. He scored 4 runs batting out of that leadoff spot, but has struck out 6 times. And it was Jeter who was the final out last night against Jose Valverde in the 9th inning. Bouncing ball to the All-Star shortstop, Johnny Peralta. It is out number 1, and that is how Rick Porcello's night begins here in Game 4. Now, the same discussion with a sinker ball pitcher. You see it throughout the course of the year, but can he contain the adrenaline a little bit? You know, sinker ball pitchers struggle sometimes in their first innings because they don't have the movement. Sometimes they are too fresh to start a ball game.
Well, when you have a guy you cannot measure adrenaline, and he's been in this before, but you want to show your manager, hey, be patient with me. I'm going to last 5, 6, 7 innings. You don't want to show him the ladder, and the fact that some of those starts were good, some of them were really bad. There's no in between, it seems like, for Rick.
Curtis Granderson back in the 2-hole. Granderson had a triple last night. He drove in a run in the first inning with a triple. No player in baseball has more triples in this park than Curtis Granderson. Last night was his 30th. A former Tiger turned Yankee back in the postseason against Detroit for the first time as a member of the Yankees.
Well, unlike Verlander last night that started at 94 and got up to 101, Porcello really stays between 91 and 94 the entire game. I'd be smiling today too after 11 punch-outs last night.
It's easy to throw harder in a playoff game. It's a lot harder to have your finesse pitches come out in the right form and the right release. These two pitchers today closely will be watching their release points. And when they're consistent, they both can dominate a game. And when they're not, they certainly are more hittable than getting outs.
Granderson takes a cold strike 3. Porcello punches out Curtis Granderson. 2 up, 2 down in the first. Well, they are charged up here at Comerica Park. Here are the umpires tonight. Dan Isonia, an emphatic strike call you'll see from him tonight. Ted Barrett, Bill Welke, Tony Randazzo, and the outfield umpires Eric Cooper and Jerry Davis. Jerry Davis is the crew chief at the plate last night. Pretty tight strike zone last night. Dan Isonia is a guy who will call some strikes, and that might work to the advantage of A.J. Burnett and Rick Porcello. We'll have to see how the game unfolds. Robinson Cano with 2 away in the first inning. Back up the middle, and Peralta, what a play, spins, fires, in time! Some kind of play, Johnny Peralta. Yankees go in order. Tigers are coming up. A.J. Burnett on the mound when we come back. Go 3 up, 3 down. Now the Tigers are coming up, and it is A.J. Burnett on the mound. And with more on A.J. Burnett, the 4th member of our team, Sports Illustrated's Tom Verducci. How you doing, Tom?
Great. You know, the last start of August for A.J. Burnett did not go well. Gave up 9 runs. That was coming off a start in which he gave up 7 runs. And the pitching coach, Larry Rothschild, took him aside and said, listen, it's time for you to be a pitcher and not a thrower. And he gave him a significant mechanical change, keeping his hands closer to his body, something coaches normally don't like to do during the season. But the results have been there since then. The Yankees have won 4 of his 5 starts. He's lowered his ERA by about a run, walk rate down, strike rate up. But now let's see, in the stress of an elimination game for the Yankees, if he keeps that delivery intact tonight.
Thank you, Tom. A.J. Burnett said he would rely on a World Series start he had in 2009. He watched tape from that game 2 back in 09. That's the memory that he wants as he begins his night tonight. Austin Jackson will lead off for the Tigers. Jackson, Santiago, and Delman Young will give you that Tigers lineup in just a moment.
One of the things when you're watching A.J., a hitter should not see your whole number too long. That's that turn you see, and his arm angle is so dependent upon that turn that sometimes it's lower than it should be, and you're going to get the left to right fade on a fastball. You don't want that. For him to be effective, he could pitch all games way before with just a fastball down in the zone. It's that good, but he has to find that release point.
Not many pitchers can have a 2-0 count and know a fastball's coming. The hitter knows it's coming. Everyone knows it's coming and still throw it by the hitter.
And that has been at the heart of frustration for Yankees fans, knowing that Burnett has great stuff. Maybe only Verlander with better stuff than A.J. Burnett with all of these pitchers that we've seen in this series so far.
I was thinking about Tom's report, Larry getting together with that meeting with A.J. and having to talk to him. It reminded me of when I was 16 and my father said it's time to grow up. Same kind of discussion.
Except that happens on a big league stage in New York. The former Tiger farmhand, Larry Rothschild. He pitched briefly in the big leagues with the Tigers. Rothschild is known as a pitching guru as far as mechanics go. A.J. Burnett is a big project for him. All four. Austin Jackson draws the walk to start it for the Tigers. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the Tigers starting lineup. Brought to you by Autotrader.com. Jackson followed by Ramon Santiago. Had a couple of big hits last night. Delman Young, the home run that was the eventual game winner for the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and Don Kelly in the middle of the batting order. Kelly gets his first start. Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. Alex Avila does the catching. And the switch hitter, Wilson Bettamy, over at third base.
The Tigers do not run much as a team, but today look for them to take advantage against A.J. Burnett. He has a slow delivery. He can have a slow delivery to home plate. And the guys that he's got in the lineup, Jim Leland, he basically said, we're going to take everything that we can against the pitcher out on the mound.
Pitching from the stretch is not a friend to A.J. Burnett.
And a check on Jackson, who had 22 steals during the regular year. 12 of those 22 came on the first pitch. He's not yet a base stealer, but he is very fast, and he is usually anxious to run early in a count when he does go. A contact hitter hitting behind him, Ramon Santiago, back in the two-hole for the second consecutive game. And he bunts one in the air, and Rodriguez will make the catch for out number one. Failed sacrifice attempt for Ramon Santiago.
You know, when you're bunting, you've got to give yourself up. You can't drag this or do anything more. Get it on the ground. The whole purpose is to get the guy to second. And right there, it looked like he was trying to do a little bit more with it, Ron.
The Tigers yesterday tried to sacrifice twice. The first time Jackson didn't get it down, he walked. The second time Santiago tried to get it down, he got a base hit.
What do you think about a first pitch curveball here?
Yeah.
Pretty good call after what we saw last night. Delman Young, the free swinger, who homered on the first pitch he saw from Soriano. Jackson takes off. It is a breaking ball and a perfect pitch to run on. The Tigers knew that. Certainly, Austin Jackson steals the base, and he's at second base for Delman Young with one away.
You described it before, Brian. There's an art to stealing bases, and really thinking that it's going to be a breaking ball first pitch to Delman Young after he had a home run on a fastball first pitch to win the game last night. Very heady play there by Austin Jackson.
So right away, the Tigers threaten. Delman Young has 4 hits in this series. 2 of them are home runs. And another breaking ball, a swing and a miss. Last night, Delman Young on the first pitch he saw from Soriano in the 7th inning drove one into the seats in right field. Both of his home runs in this ALDS have come to right field. He had gone 2 full seasons in the major leagues without a right field home run, but he's done it twice in this series. Homered in game 1. He had the first run on the board for the Tigers on Friday night. That was against Sabathia. And then last night, pulls that one over to Rodriguez. The throw to first in time. On his way to third is Jackson with no throw. Out number 2, but the Tigers have a runner at third base.
Let me tell you why that's important. You're going to see pitch tracks a lot and see the dot where the ball ends up. Well, with the runner on third, a lot of pressure on the catcher with those curveballs that he can bounce, and it never know at a curveball how it reacts off the chest protector.
25 wild pitches this year from A.J. Burnett, so always getting to third base with 2 outs is a good move for the Tigers. Boy, I'll tell you, Alex Rodriguez has been very nimble at third base defensively this entire series.
So there's Jackson. Those 25 wild pitches, by the way, led all of baseball this season. So Russell Martin will be on his toes behind the plate. Here is Miguel Cabrera. It was a night full of MVP chants from this crowd in Detroit. Not just for Miguel Cabrera, certainly a strong candidate for the Most Valuable Player award, but also their pitcher last night, Justin Verlander. An 11 strikeout performance last night and a win.
See, the release point, and we're going to have these kind of discussions throughout the game, and now that it looks like they're going to walk him. But the release point's so important. Now you get a runner on third. He's more susceptible to a hanging curveball trying not to bounce it. The freedom of throwing his curveball, which has tremendous break on it, he doesn't want to leave that over the middle of the strike zone.
You could say that to define Burnett's career is that he has been consistently inconsistent.
And that can be okay. You can use that to your advantage, especially with a fastball. But when you've got that money pitch, and let me tell you something, I'll put his curveball up against anybody's. Yeah. It's that hard, and it breaks that hard down. But he changes the arm angle on it to control the depth of it, and that's not necessarily good.
An intentional walk to Miguel Cabrera. Now Victor Martinez with 2 on. Tigers have runners at the corners in the first inning. Rick Porcello, a 3 up, 3 down first with a strikeout for the Tigers. And now Detroit trying to answer.
Martinez has been such a great addition to this Tigers lineup, hitting behind Cabrera. When he's walked, his average is .343, so he comes through most of the time when they try to pitch around Cabrera.
If both these pitchers were playing poker, they don't want to tip their hand. They don't want to show their manager that this is going to be the way it is the rest of the game. So it's real important for AJ to get through this inning just to have a longer leash.
Now the key number out there for the big picture of this series, the winner of Game 3 winning 19 of 23 series in division play. So the fact that the Tigers picked up Game 3 will put themselves in a great chance to advance. But you can bet Jim Leyland and the Tigers treating this like a Game 5. They do not want to go back to Yankee Stadium, a very tough place to play, always.
You're right, Brian. When the team's going tied 1-1, that third game usually tells who's going to win that series.
A good play, Russell Martin keeps Jackson over at third base, but Martinez has put the count in his favor.
Well, all series long we have seen Russell Martin hurling his body in front of the breaking balls from Nova and now from Burnett.
It's a series with 2 outstanding catchers, Martin and Alex Avila. Gets down there again. 3 balls and a strike on Victor Martinez, who has a couple of hits in this series. He's 2 for 11. He's been hobbled a bit, as Tom Verducci reported yesterday, with the right toe. He wears a protective brace on that foot. The best hitter in the big leagues with runners in scoring position during the regular season.
Well, you see Teixeira holding on Cabrera. I know he has a stolen base in this series. Get behind him. Be in a better defensive position with the left-handed hitting Martinez at the plate.
Way inside. Martinez draws the walk. The third walk of the inning. One of those intentional, but the bases are loaded. And here comes Larry Rothschild from the Yankee dugout already.
I know there's going to be a lot of talk radio just waiting. This may be the most talked about game and start of a person's career in New York, but I got to explain why it's not as easy as people think. When you lose your release point, you lose your confidence. And it's like making a putting stroke and getting the yips. Until you mechanically fix it, it's not as easy as simply say, well, just do this and throw the pitch higher. He's got to, and your evidence is what you're seeing. The reason he's missing so far, the turn of his rotation of his mechanics, the arm and the release point is not connected.
Pitchers that pitch with confidence let the ball go. Pitchers that don't have confidence aim the baseball, and that's what happens to AJ at times. And it happened to CC last night. CC Sabathia with 3 walks in the first inning, 2 here tonight.
How about this? Joe Girardi has sprung his bullpen into action early. First inning, Corey Wade is getting loose. Don Kelly for the Tigers will bat.
Here's what he needs. He's tipped his hand. You don't want to tip your hand. You need an atom ball. And what that atom ball is, you don't care where it goes, line drive, robbing a home run, you've got to get it out. You just need to get the ball over the plate and say, okay, I forgot it. The jitters are gone. This is not how you want to start out.
Like the pop-up Scherzer got to Teixeira in that first game.
Don Kelly, center field. Granderson came in, now going back and makes the catch. Curtis Granderson on a missile off the bat of Don Kelly. There's your atom ball, John Smoltz. Right at him, almost over him. Great recovery by Granderson. And the Tigers cannot score.
Out of Kelly, just a line drive. Granderson comes in first and then has to retreat backwards. Almost does not get there, but just gets it at the end of his glove. And in this big, huge confines of Comerica Park, you have a line drive that if it gets over the head of Granderson, it might have scored 4 runs.
Now Kelly has good speed. Granderson, who knows this outfield well, but that is the toughest ball to play, the line drive right at you as a center fielder. And the Yankees get a huge break as A.J. Burnett strands the bases loaded. And now we settle into this game as we go to the second inning. And you never know, that might be what gets A.J. Burnett back on track. We'll see. Rick Porcello, a 3-up, 3-down first inning with a strikeout, facing Alex Rodriguez. And on the first pitch, in the air to center field, Jackson. 1 away. We're just underway from Comerica Park in Detroit. Great to have you with us tonight. A beautiful night for baseball here. The Yankees and the Tigers. Game 4 of this American League Division Series. Brian Anderson with Ron Darling, John Smoltz,
Tom Verducci down in the dugout. And Porcello against Burnett. As Porcello deals a strike to Teixeira.
Now, I know the numbers don't bear it, but if I were Rick, I would be careful with Teixeira. This is the type of pitcher that Teixeira can connect with power and hit with gaps. I know the numbers don't show it.
Teixeira rips one right into the shift. Santiago playing in a rover position out there in the grass. 2 men are out, and another Adam Ball jump.
Yeah. Well, again, he tried to throw a cutter in, and the cutter is not going to be anything but a show pitch for him because that sinker moving away from left-handers, you don't want left-handed hitters diving. And one of the reasons that he throws that pitch for effect is so he can get more room on the other side of the plate.
Teixeira's had a couple of line drive outs the last couple of days. Something his manager, Joe Girardi, referenced last night, saying his at-bats are still okay. Thinks he can have a big night tonight. Here's Nick Swisher.
You know, though, Brian, we showed in the pregame that his average now around 200 career and postseason. And when you line up like that, the frustration only grows.
Now, Rick Porcello pitched in the 2009 tiebreaker against the Twins. One of the greatest regular season games. If you remember, a 12-inning game. It was eventually won by the Twins. Swisher bounces one to Cabrera, ranging way over. Porcello is there, and the side is retired. Porcello hoping to use that start at 09 to help him here tonight. He's off to a good start. Division Series coverage on TBS is brought to you in HD by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Tigers coming up, bottom of the second inning, and Johnny Peralta will lead off against A.J. Burnett, who survives the first inning. 2 walks, 1 intentional walk, 3 total, but no hits and no runs as Peralta fouls it away. Peralta has already made an impact on this game. A terrific play robbing Cano of a base hit in the first.
You mentioned before, Brian, a little different strike zone here for Iasoni, the home plate umpire. He's more aggressive in calling of strikes.
Bouncer backhanded by Rodriguez. Still has a great arm. And guns Peralta out for the first out of the inning. We'll see if the nerves of A.J. Burnett calm somewhat after getting out of the first. Never know, Burnett has that kind of stuff. He can mow through a lineup. Burnett had a good start his last time out of the regular season against the Boston Red Sox. But the only reason he starts in this division series is because of the suspended game on Friday. He was not in the starting rotation originally. Joe Girardi was going to bring CC Sabathia back on Game 5 or for Game 5. And Burnett had started in the bullpen. Now he ends up trying to keep the Yankee season alive. Alex Avila with one away. The Tiger catcher looking for his first hit of this division series. He's 0 for 9.
See, those last two deliveries are very quiet, looking like he's playing catch with the catcher. In the first inning, he was trying to force it, understandably so. You're trying to change the world in one start. He's got a lot of pressure on him, but when he plays catch with the catcher, no liver arm, no more ball that carries. When I call carry, it has that extra life on it with his fastball.
Right back to Burnett. Calmly makes the play. Cano-like makes the play to first for the second out.
Usually a pitcher like Burnett does not end up in great fielding position. Ends up really with his back towards the plate, but the ball is perfectly placed on his glove side, and he makes the easy play.
Two up, two down, and it'll be Wilson Betemit. Jim Leland has a bit of a platoon over at third base. Brandon Inge and Betemit. Betemit's the switch hitter. Inge a right-handed hitter. Betemit is the better hitter of that group, but Inge has had a big series. Had a couple of hits last night. Scored twice. Leland likes the left-handed bat against A.J. Burnett this evening.
He struck out Betemit 9 times, most in any of the lineup, and why he can do that is that down and in curveball. He swings over the top. Wilson has a lot of power, but he has the ability to strike out as well.
Martin took a shot in the mask right there. Dan Iasone giving him some extra time to shake off the cobwebs. Only umpires and catchers can commiserate when something like that happens.
Now Burnett could use a quick inning after the 3 walks in the first. 2 up, 2 down in the second. And Betemit, a strikeout victim. Different guy in the second. A.J. Burnett picks up his first strikeout in a 3 up, 3 down second inning. Coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned, making tires that go the distance, inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Another sellout here at Comerica Park. And the Tigers and the Yankees. No score as we head to the third inning. Rick Porcello has retired the first 6 with a strikeout. Porcello was in the big leagues at the age of 20 in 09. From New Jersey, went to Seton Hall Prep. Played on Anthony Verducci Field at Seton Hall Prep. Tom Verducci's father, the field named after. Said he grew up a Mets fan, though.
Both his parents were big Yankee fans. But they are a Tigers and Porcello fan tonight, of course.
Jorge Posada hit by a pitch, and Posada will reach. So Porcello trying to get inside on the left-handed hitter. Left-handers gave Porcello a lot of trouble this season during the regular season. A .321 batting average, and that's a pitch he has to have against a lefty, and he drills Posada. And the first base runner for the Yankees of the night.
Looks like he just caught the sleeve of Posada. Posada in this series now. Cano had the biggest game, but he's had the most consistent series. 5 hits now, 4 walks, and a hit by pitch.
The Yankees will roll out 6 left-handed batters. A number of those are switch hitters, but Porcello will see 6 in the left side of the box in the starting 9 for New York. One of the 3 right-handed batters, Russell Martin. And a hot grounder under the glove of Peralta. First hit for the Yankees. And 2 on to start this third inning. Yankees getting production from the bottom of their order in the third.
So far the approach is you watch the sinker and you want to get him to pull it a little more. He stays up the middle just underneath the glove. Haven't seen many changeups yet. Going after these Yankee hitters with sinkers, trying to get a lot of quick outs and ground balls. And we'll see when he starts mixing in that changeup.
Going with his hard stuff first time through the order.
Now he is a pitcher that counts on the double play ball, but almost impossible to turn a double play on Brett Gardner. And we'll see if Gardner is up there to bunt. He squares, he pulls it back, takes a strike. Gardner has been one of the Yankees' most clutch hitters in this American League Division Series. 4 runs batted in. He has a couple of hits with 2 strikes and 2 outs in run-producing innings. Twice he's driven in 2 runs with hits. He had one last night that tied the game in the 7th.
Boy, he had a chance. A little late was Porcello with his move back to Peralta at shortstop. They call that daylight play. You see daylight between the runner and the shortstop, turn around and throw. But he's a little late there on Posada at second base.
Well, he did it the unconventional way, too. Normally you turn your back around in almost a 360, but he went with the step and turn 180.
Gardner bunts it foul. Well, guys, last night Joe Girardi looking for some big hits with runners in scoring position. There have been very little activity for the Yankees with the exception of Brett Gardner in this series.
Well, he stays inside the ball so well where he doesn't try to do too much. Use the power and velocity to his advantage and found the gap.
The Yankees with runners in scoring position, 3 for 24. Gardner has 2 of those 3 hits with runners in scoring position so far through the first 3 games.
Well, this crowd is with every pitch, aren't they?
Good sinker, but it moves late, and just you see where it crosses on the plate. good opportunity right here to drop in a changeup. He hasn't done it, and you wonder when the first opportunity for the changeup to see a different look.
Porcello could use a strikeout. As Gardner slashes one foul, Delman Young will give it a look. Fans came to play.
That's right. I think this is what Gardner does so well, especially in that 9 spot. He'll make that pitcher work. Fouls off a lot of tough pitches.
Brett Gardner barking at Dan Isonia. Said, I thought it was up, as he heads back to the dugout, and a strikeout for Porcello, his second.
Well, what happens when you're trying to think down in the zone, this is a high sinker, and it does cross the belt, and they're just really disciplined to stay off that pitch. Right. You know, you want to think that that's a pitch he doesn't want to handle, and it's above the strike zone. The first call maybe goes to Detroit.
It's the same pitch he struck Curtis Granderson out in the first inning with.
So the first out, back to the top of the order. Derek Jeter with 2 on.
And we said earlier, you want him to get the ball up, but in the top part of the strike zone, not above it. That would have been a hard pitch for Gardner to do much with.
Tigers have been very conscious, their pitching staff, of pitching these right-handed hitters for the Yankees in off the plate. We saw Valverde knock Jeter down in last night's game, and here another pitch inside by Porcello.
Jeter into center field. A long run for Austin Jackson, still going back. That ball's carrying, and it is down. It goes to the wall. Coming in to score is Posada. Martin is right behind him to throw to the plate. The tag, safe is the call. 2 runs are in. Derek Jeter, with his first hit with a runner in scoring position of the series, has given the Yankees a 2-0 lead.
Little hanging slider by Porcello there. Gets the ball over the head of Jackson, who makes a valiant try. And good base running by the Yankees. Posada, of course, was going to score easy. Good read by Martin. Watch the slide. Left hand on the plate. Just sneaks it in there before the tag of Avila. Just gets that hand on, and the tag to the head.
A great call at the plate. Martin scores, and it's 2-0 New York as Granderson steps in. Derek Jeter's first RBIs of this ALDS. His 5th hit. He's been hitting with a little more pop since that calf injury. Went back down to Tampa and got his swing worked out.
29 pitches into the game, we saw the first changeup. These Yankee hitters, I know, again, statistically, they all would like to be better. But they have been there, done that too many times to count them out.
Now, how big is Curtis Granderson's catch going to loom in this game? It was in the first inning. Don Kelly at the plate. He rips one to center field. Granderson, a bit of a misplay. It's a tough read, but he makes the catch, ends the inning, and the Tigers strand the bases loaded in the first. Now Granderson a chance to do some damage with his bat. Still just 1 away. Granderson a little bit late. Rolls over one towards second. Santiago makes a play for out number 2. Jeter will advance to third. Porcello with 2 gone now, and he'll face Robinson Cano. Cano had the monster game 1. He drove in 6 runs. Part of a 6-run 6th inning. A grand slam home run for Robinson Cano in game 1. Those are his only RBIs in the series so far. Verlander controlled him last night. He was 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts.
Well, I wouldn't say this is a pitch around, but you have to be extremely careful for Robinson Cano in this situation. Left-handed hitters have Warren Porcello out. A-Rod on deck has struggled in this series.
All 6 of Cano's RBIs in game 1 came with 2 outs. Yankees doing a lot of 2-out damage. 10 of their 18 runs in this series so far coming with 2 outs. It's a tough lineup to get through. Joe Girardi counting on his offense tonight. He made that point clear earlier today as Cano lifts one in the air to center field. Jackson going back, and he'll make the play. The side is retired. It is Derek Jeter who delivers in the 3rd. A 2 RBI double, and the Yankees are on top in game 4. Chevrolet. Upload a picture of your youth player and you could win tickets to the 2011 postseason among hundreds of other MLB prizes. Be a part of the Chevy Centennial Celebration and enter for a chance to win at ChevyBaseball.com. Tigers coming up. Bottom of the 3rd inning. A.J. Burnett back on the mound, and it is Austin Jackson to start the inning. Back to the top of the order now for Detroit. Jackson, Santiago, Delman Young. A 2-0 Yankee lead on a Derek Jeter 1-out 2-run double. Rodriguez. And Speedy Jackson is cut down. We check in with Matt Weiner in Atlanta. Matt? Well, great day of baseball on TBS and TNT. Everybody in play. The Texas Rangers advancing earlier today. They are awaiting the winner of this series. As Ramon Santiago with one away. Phillies got a win today over the St. Louis Cardinals. Brewers could advance with a victory in a little bit. And it is elimination day for the New York Yankees as well. They're trying to stave off elimination. The Tigers, if they win tonight, they would head into the American League Championship Series for the first time since '06. Otherwise, we are headed to New York for a Game 5 on Thursday. Back up the middle. Jeter is over. And Jeter gets his man. Classic Derek Jeter, ranging up the middle to make the play. 2 gone. Send it down to Tom Verducci with more on A.J. Burnett.
Well, we saw Yankees pitching coach Larry Rothschild go to the mound in the first inning, but the major tutorial work can be done between innings. And when he came off the mound in the first inning, Rothschild makes sure that he follows A.J. Burnett back to the clubhouse. Obviously, do a little more tweaking with the mechanics. Now, A.J. came out of that first inning throwing 14 balls out of his 21 pitches. Since that tutorial, he's a different pitcher. Has missed the strike zone only with 1 pitch in these last 2 innings.
Yeah, 5 first pitch strikes in a row until that pitch right there. But you can just tell that the ball that is getting to the catcher now is staying on plane. That release point, he's actually looking like he's playing catch to the catcher instead of trying to throw all his pitches.
A 21 pitch first inning. Delman Young with 2 outs in this third. So Burnett has retired 6 straight now with Young batting.
Well, Delman Young taking 3 pitches in a row, John.
Very aggressive.
That's the dream quadrant right there. You don't get beat too often when you can pound those pitches right there on that corner.
Young lays off. Very patient in that at-bat. Normally a free swinger, as you know, if you've been following this series. But a 2-out walk. And here comes Miguel Cabrera. This is the big bat in this Tigers lineup. Cabrera is 3 for 9 in this series so far. He was intentionally walked in the first.
And see what happens when you start throwing your fastball for strikes. That ball started where his fastball would start, and even though it was way out of the zone, the hitter doesn't recognize it till it's too late. When you're erratic and you're spraying your fastball around, the recognition's a lot easier for the hitter, and he lay off those pitches.
Teixeira will give it a look. That one is headed for the seats. As Burnett able to get one by Miguel Cabrera. So 0-2 it goes. Cabrera coming off a huge year. 344 average, 30 homers, 105 runs batted in. He won the batting title. He hit .429 in the month of September. He entered this postseason as one of the Tigers' hottest hitters. Matter of fact, one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball.
Only had the best average for 4 days during the season, the last 4.
Bouncer to Jeter. Hit the lip of the grass, but Jeter handles it, and the side is retired. 3 scoreless for A.J. Burnett. 2-0 Yankees. We go to the 4th. On a Derek Jeter 2 RBI double as we head to the fourth inning. Alex Rodriguez will lead off, and Ron, the pitching pattern of the Detroit Tigers against Rodriguez pretty well defined at this point of the series.
Well, when you're a pitching staff, you're trying to execute a game plan, and against A-Rod, who doesn't have any hits in this series, they have been outstanding. They have gone in off the plate early and often. They've gotten 7 of the 11 outs on the inside part of the plate, and it's not. You usually don't go against a great hitter like Rodriguez with just one pattern. You usually have to mix it up. But so far, because he didn't play a lot in September, they've been able to just really rush him inside. To me, though, the more they pitch him inside, he just feels at one point Rodriguez is going to turn on one.
They might have just missed one in the second inning. Hit one hard to deep center field for an out. Missed it on the barrel a little bit. Porcello comes right back in there. And I guess the question, John, for Rick Porcello, is he effective enough to command that part of the plate consistently?
Well, he has had better success against right-handers, so that means, to me, yes, the sinker gets to the spots against a right-hander more often than it does to a left-hander.
The interesting thing about Porcello tonight, he's gotten 2 strikeouts on left-handed hitters up in the strike zone with those high sinkers. That was a high one there. So sometimes you get strikeouts, and it doesn't mean that you're pitching well. He is up in the strike zone. That is not good.
Yeah, to me, that would be a little bit of a warning sign to continue that theory and make that work throughout the game. These hitters are too good.
Rodriguez into right field, and that is Don Kelly for out number 1. Now catch game highlights, interviews, and exclusive post-game analysis from Tom Verducci and the staff of award-winning SI writers at si.com/MLB. Beautiful setting here in downtown Detroit, Comerica Park. With a Yankees win, this series will shift to New York on Thursday back at Yankee Stadium. They earned the home field advantage with the best record in the American League this season. The Yankees, as Teixeira is drilled. So the second hit batter for Rick Porcello, and a base runner with 1 out in the 4th.
He's so afraid of getting hurt inside by those left-handed hitters, holding onto that baseball a little too long.
Well, you can definitely see a conscious effort. I mean, the numbers bear it. The left-handers have had their way. And when you pull that sinker, it straightens out and doesn't come back over the plate. He's trying to get that front door strike to change the whole mindset. Look, these hitters watch video, and they watch these pitchers over and over and over again. There's trends, and rightfully so. That's why you can build a game plan, and it comes down to who executes it the best this time of the year.
This is a stretch of the batting order with 3 consecutive switch hitters. Nick Swisher with a man on. He bounced out his last time up. He pulled one over to first base.
See those numbers right there. That is unusually high for a sinker baller to have a left-hander's average that big against a right-hander's difference. In watching a lot of his games, he worked from the thighs, from the knees down with his sinker, and his changeup would end almost on top of the plate. A lot of swings and misses, a lot of ground outs. And right now, all right, call it a little bit of adrenaline. It's almost thighs down on the sinker. It's actually surprising the Yankees a little bit in some cases.
Well, Swisher is down on strikes. Got him both ways. A swing and a call, it looked like. And a strikeout for Rick Porcello, number 3 against the Yankees.
What's been his most effective pitch? This high sinker up in the strike zone that has fooled the left-handed hitters.
Sounds like an oxymoron there. A high sinker.
That's right.
There's supposed to be a low sinker, but it's working in some cases with these hitters.
2 outs. And it'll be Jorge Posada.
Sorry I used a word that just makes me sound a little bit smarter, because obviously I'm not.
I got what you meant. Posada was hit by a pitch his last time up. He scored the first Yankee run. He was just ahead of Martin on that 2 RBI double by Jeter. That was in the third.
You look at his year, and Rick has had the blessings of a lot of runs. His team has rewarded him with some great run support, and he's hoping the same can be true tonight.
Tigers scored 5.8 runs per game this season with Porcello on the mound.
You know, we were talking to Jimmy Leland before the game, and he said, listen, you know, his tutorial for this young man has been in the major leagues. He's a guy that we wanted to spend more time in the minor leagues, try to work on his game, but he was the best that we had, so we had to advance him up to the major leagues.
Just foul. Posada. Count stays at 1-2 strikes. Well, what a hunch. Joe Girardi played with Posada. There were some questions whether he would even be on a postseason roster, much less start in a postseason game. He has started all 4, and Posada is 4 for 8. He's had a good series. He's also walked 4 times and has been hit by a pitch. He went with a breaking ball. He backdoored him. Back-to-back strikeouts. Tigers lead 2-1 in this series. Yankees up 2-0 in Game 4. Don't miss the Big Bang Theory, all new to TBS, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, starting October 18th. No way to say that without a smile. Sorry. 2-0. The Yankees have the lead. Trying to get this series back to Yankee Stadium Thursday. It was a Derek Jeter 2 RBI double. It came with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Burnett has settled down. He's issued 4 walks. 3 of them came in the 1st inning. Victor Martinez leads all 4 of the Tigers here in the 4th. Martinez, one of those 3 walks in the first inning. Quickly to 3-0. Coming out here in the 4th, falling behind. Don Kelly knew due next. He had the line drive out that ended the first inning.
Seems so easy to have that approach on every pitch. 3-0, you don't know, you don't think the guy's swinging. He lays it in there. It's just not that easy. When you throw a pitch, there's tension that the guy's going to swing. And in 3-0, you're pretty much relieved of some of that tension.
And that one's hit well. Martinez will watch it fly. The Tigers are on the board. Victor Martinez. First home run of the ALDS. And a no-doubter into the bleachers at right.
One fastball right down the middle to go along with those. We mentioned the 25 wild pitches of A.J. Burnett. Also gave up 25 home runs during the regular season.
Don Kelly takes a strike. Martinez with his 3rd hit of this division series. First home run, now 2 runs batted in. Third career postseason homers. Kelly bounces one foul.
Well, let me give you an example. I'll give you an example. When A.J. Burnett is 0-2, 107 batting average. So that's how key it is for him to get to 2 strikes versus pitching behind.
And a bouncing ball to Robinson Cano. And Kelly is retired. Well, in between innings, we had a chance to catch up with Joe Girardi, the Yankees manager. It's time to talk, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Well, Joe, just take us through your thoughts, your emotions maybe in that first inning, sitting there with the bases loaded. A great catch by Granderson to get out of it.
Tremendous catch, and A.J. seemed to settle down a little bit since then. You know, the first inning a lot of times for any starting pitcher can be the one that's tough to get comfortable in. Looked like A.J. was, just a little bit off, but he seemed to right it right now.
Well, Joe, your hitters have still had good at-bats. Sometimes the results don't indicate how your at-bats and the approach, and sooner or later it's going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, you keep putting up good at-bats, you're going to get hits. I mean, you can look at the ball that Robbie Cano hit, and it looks like it's an out. But, I mean, that's a good at-bat. He hit a ball 410 feet. And that's all you can ask the guys to do is give good at-bats, and let's see what the results are.
That is a fair ball. Johnny Peralta down the line. Peralta will settle for a double as he gets caught up in the corner. And here come the Tigers in this 4th inning. A home run by Martinez, a double by Johnny Peralta.
Well, this is the definition of getting the head out. The ball's up. He gets the barrel of it to it and doesn't hook it foul. Just right inside the line. They're starting to see the fastball a little bit better. Got to mix in some curveballs and changeups.
Nice job by Jerry Davis down that left field line. He was right on top of that play.
Alex Avila, runner in scoring position. A spinner in there for a strike for Burnett. Avila was a big bat for the Tigers this year, as Phil Hughes is next on the bullpen mound. The star Wade up in the first inning. Now it's Hughes here in the fourth. Both managers using the same terminology today concerning Burnett and Rick Porcello. Short leash. And obviously for the Yankees, this is an elimination game. The leash probably much shorter than it is for Leland with his starting pitcher tonight. And a strike called on the back door. A.J. Burnett strikes out Alex Avila. Out number 2. A big out for A.J. Burnett here in the fourth inning.
John, you were talking before the game about the ability to handle that curveball, be able to throw it through the catcher, keep it up in the strike zone for a strike. Great job there by Burnett. Avila now impediment in this series, 0 for 17. Bottom of the order, not getting it done.
Avila the second out. And now Burnett will face the 9-hole hitter for the Tigers, Wilson Betemit. All of Betemit's at-bats in this division series have come as a left-handed hitter. He is 0 for 6. Burnett struck him out in the second inning. With the tying run at second base.
Part of the reason he struck him out so many times, we talk about the power that Wilson has, but he has 2 areas you can get him out. Up, down, and that opens up for A.J. Burnett. When you're struggling, it opens up an opportunity to have more freedom with some of those pitches and not be as perfect.
Time is called.
But if you make a mistake, Wilson will make you pay with power. He's got one of those free and easy swings where the ball jumps off his bat.
He chased one. Martin can't find it. And Peralta's on his way to third base. Martin blocked it, but didn't feel where it came off and did not hear anything from either Burnett or the dugout. And it was easy for Peralta to make it. That'll be a wild pitch.
The problem for catchers when they lose the baseball, a lot of times they'll get pitchers to point and say it's right there, it's right there. What does that mean?
We all do it. We do it every time too. Well, all he's got to do is throw it right back in that same area, and that's easier said than done. But if he bounces it again, same result.
And a swing and a miss. Betemit right over the top of it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Burnett. The Tigers get a run. Victor Martinez with his first home run of the 2011 postseason. Martinez home run in the bottom of the fourth. Jeter drove in the pair in the third inning. 2-1 Yankees. As we are on our way to the fifth inning, Rick Porcello against Russell Martin to start the fifth. Porcello with back-to-back strikeouts in the fourth inning, now with 4 Ks in the game. He's hit 2 batters, has not issued a walk. Porcello's only given up 2 hits, but one of them was Jeter's double with 1 away that plated 2.
Much better slider here, Porcello, in the fifth inning.
Martin would not chase. Russell Martin singled off Porcello in the third. That set up Jeter's double. And a great base running move to score from first base on that double.
Sometimes it's hard to have both a good slider and a sinker, mainly because you're opening up to throw a sinker with your foot. So you land a little open. To throw a good slider, you need something to throw it against, and so you have to be a little cross your body.
And there's a shot, and that's another base hit. Almost the identical hit for Martin, who is aggressively around first, but he'll hold up with a single. Moments ago, we spoke with Tiger manager Jim Leyland. As it's time to talk, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Well, Jim, you're looking at this ball game. Certainly don't want to go back to Yankee Stadium, but give us a sense of your young pitcher Porcello and your lineup here tonight against the Yankees.
Well, I think Porcello's doing fine. I thought Kelly's ball in the first inning was a big play so far. I think Porcello's doing a good job. He got a slider up, probably in a double play situation where maybe we would have got the sinker. He could have got it on the ground, but he's doing fine. He's attacking the hitters. He's trying to use both sides of the plate. Doing fine.
The addition of Martinez has really added some depth to your lineup, Jim.
Huge, yes. Stretches us out pretty good.
And it was Martinez who hit the home run, put the Tigers on the board, thanks to Jim Leyland. Leyland trying to get a club back to the World Series. It would be his 3rd World Series if he can march through the postseason this year. Was a World Series winner with the Marlins in '97, and then of course in the World Series in '06 with these Tigers. Thought it was interesting last night. Jim Leyland was telling us about the sequence with CC Sabathia and whether he was coming back out or not. So he put a left-handed hitter up there, Don Kelly, a defensive strategy, trying to pull Sabathia back out from that Yankee dugout. He thought maybe 2 lefties would encourage Girardi to send Sabathia back out, and that was the big inning for the Detroit Tigers.
Martin has a very big lead at first base, only 8 stolen bases during the summer.
Everybody assumes a catcher is a slow runner, but not the case with Russell Martin. And Gardner slaps one opposite field, a base hit. So Brett Gardner continues his hitting ways. His 4th hit so far. He's 4 for 11. Back-to-back singles to start the 5th inning.
Well, you draw the third baseman in, Betemit, and you just lace one over his head down the left field line. That is classic Gardner right there. And again, the Yankees getting some people on and down in their order before Jeter gets up.
It's going to draw a little action in the bullpen, I'm sure.
Derek Jeter driving in a pair in the 3rd. Another opportunity to drive in some runs here in the 5th. He's bunting right back to the mound. Porcello going to third base, and Betemit makes the play. Oh my goodness, what a play that was. Betemit coming in for the bunt, had to retreat. That could have been a disaster for the Tigers. An incredibly athletic play by Wilson Betemit for the lead out at third base.
Well, this bunt is not good. It's right back at the pitcher, Porcello, so he knows he has an easy play. The tough play was Betemit getting back and getting a foot on the base if he did. I don't know if Bettermead ever got a foot on the base. Just maybe scraped the top of it.
Yeah, no, a throw where it becomes a good play. If he throws this towards the runner right here, it's an easier play. But look, it's to the other side, turns him around. Luckily gets the spike to top the bag.
Good play by Porcello.
Now that could be a big play, as Granderson will bat with 2 on. Porcello gets ahead of him.
Well, as a pitcher, you got to rely on all those times you worked in spring training. The catcher is the communicator on what base, more times than not to throw it. But to your guys' point, what an athletic play to get back and have the awareness to catch the ball and find the base at the same time. That's the first aggressive play we've seen either team make with a chance that it could have really backfired. And right now, the Tigers have got a chance to get out of this inning.
And a little tapper foul by Granderson. It's been a pretty clean series defensively. The only error was Derek Jeter's error at shortstop. That was on Sunday in game 2, and that actually led to a 2-run inning for the Tigers. Tigers have not committed an error, but they have been very cautious defensively until there.
Tiger fans will remember a 2006 World Series. 8 errors by the Tigers in that series, 5 by the pitchers. Not to be there by Porcello. Good play.
Tigers are looking for a ground ball double play. And Granderson rips one down the right field line. That ball's well hit. Kelly looks up. It's off the base of the wall. Gardner will come in to score as Curtis Granderson adds to the Yankee lead. That RBI double for Granderson. And it's 3-1 New York.
Well, right here, we've been talking about it the last couple innings. High sinkers are not going to eventually get it done. And that high sinker to a guy who has hit a ton of home runs, he takes advantage of it. What's supposed to be an inside called looking strike comes back over the plate and has led to a run.
Now with runners at second and third, Leland will walk Robinson Cano here. And you wonder how much leash Rick Porcello has.
To your point, John, in the first at bat by Granderson, he took that pitch for a called third strike, not to be there in that at bat.
The right-hander Ryan Perry and the hard-throwing left-hander Phil Koch. Got a right-hander coming up at Alex Rodriguez, and then that string of switch hitters. Decision time for Jim Leland. He'll send his pitching coach out. Very anxious crowd here in Detroit. You can just feel it after that first inning. It was burning hot. They had the bases loaded. They couldn't score. Outside of the Victor Martinez home run, it has been quiet here. The Yankee bats keeping this big crowd quiet at Comerica Park.
Well, this is going to be a reaffirmation of what he does best, and try to remind him, look, you sink the ball, you get it down, work through it, stay on top of the pitch, and let's see if we can get that ground ball double play and get out of this inning.
It's almost like he got in strikeout mode, trying to power his way through the lineup, when really his strength, like you said, John, is down in the strike zone. Make him hit it on the ground, give your defense a chance to get out of this inning.
Yeah, it's really been a weird game when you look back, and if you're going to look back, as this pitcher will at the film someday, he'll realize, man, I got away with a lot of pitches up.
Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, has had his say. Bases loaded. Alex Rodriguez at the plate with one away. Back in there, gets a call from Iasonia. Granderson makes it a 3-1 Yankee lead in the fifth. RBIs tonight from Granderson and Derek Jeter so far. No team hit more grand slams during the regular season than the Yankees. They hit 10. Cano had a grand slam in game 1. And Alex Rodriguez, historically brilliant with the bases loaded throughout his career. 22 career grand slams for Rodriguez. In the air, left center. That is plenty deep to score the run. Looks like everybody's going to tag as well. Jeter on his way to the plate. He will score. So Alex Rodriguez drives in his third run, a sacrifice fly. Jeter scores the run. Granderson advances as well. Cano stays at first. So Rodriguez still looking for his first hit, but he has been fairly productive in that he has 3 runs batted in the first 4 games of this series.
Look, in fairness to A-Rod, when he's going good, you can't just pitch him one way. Yeah. And when your lower half has not been under you for most of the year, the ability to adjust is not as great as you would want. And he got enough of that barrel of the bat to lift it and get that RBI.
Teixeira takes a strike. 4-1 Yankees. 2 runs in here in the 5th.
The runners on base not able to play that extreme shift against Mark Teixeira. Second baseman Santiago back there, but the shortstop more traditionally behind the bag.
Jim Leyland taking a chance, trying to get his 22-year-old starter to get through this 5th inning. The Tigers will have the top of their order coming up in the bottom of the 5th. Leland has 2 relievers ready in the pen. He'll let it ride with Porcello.
One thing that always made me nervous about a shift like this, when you're trying to pitch a guy away and he hits it off the end of the bat and it's a mistake, he gets a hit out of it.
That shift paid off for the Tigers against Teixeira in the 2nd inning. Hit a line drive right to Santiago, who was out in the grass. In a normal defensive alignment, that would have been a base hit.
A simple ground ball to the right of the umpire becomes a base hit with this shift.
And a strikeout for Rick Porcello. He gets Teixeira, but the Yankees score twice. RBIs from Granderson and Rodriguez. By the Audi A8, best of the game, best records since September 1st. The Tigers came into this postseason on a roll. They won 20 of their last 26. The Texas Rangers also winning 20 of their last 26, and the Rangers are on their way to the American League Championship Series. who will they play? A matchup with the Tigers or the Yankees. A.J. Burnett. And a swing inning for him here in the 5th. Yankees have given him a 4-1 lead. Austin Jackson, the Tigers' leadoff hitter, will start it for Detroit. Able to get that breaking ball over is A.J. Burnett. He finished the 4th with a couple of strikeouts. Gave up the home run to Martinez, but stranded Johnny Peralta at third base. Jackson rips one to left. A base hit for the Tiger leadoff hitter.
Well, as you can imagine, a year that's been as inconsistent with A.J. Burnett in shutdown innings when his team has given him runs. His ERA is quite high, 5.17.
And you know, during the season, John, you might manage a game to get your starter a win and pitching in the 5th inning. No such deal here in this game. Got to win this game. If Burnett comes off his game a little bit, got to get that bullpen going.
I know the Tigers are down, but I still look for him to try and run in this situation if given the opportunity.
Santiago, a bouncer right to Cano, to Jeter, and a low throw dug out by Teixeira. The Tigers not running, and it ends up as a 4-6-3 double play. Beautiful play by Teixeira at first base. As we check in with Matt Weiner in Atlanta. What do you have, Matt? All right, thank you, Matt. And Sean Markham, former teammates with A.J. Burnett in Toronto, both pitching in the postseason tonight. Delman Young for the Tigers with 2 away. And right back off the leg of Burnett. And he makes a play to end the inning. Starts with a single, a double play, and a ground out. And Burnett is through 5, just 1 run allowed. It's 4-1 Yankees. In the books, tonight's pitching comparison brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. And let's take a look at it with A.J. Burnett Rick Porcello, 5 innings apiece.
Well, if you saw 4 walks, you'd think there'd be a lot more runs for A.J. Burnett, but he has really survived that first inning, gotten his curveball and fastball in locations to be successful. And the young kid's just gotten a couple pitches up at the crucial situation that's cost him.
A.J. Burnett has held the Tigers hitless with men on tonight. 0 for 7 with runners on base for the Tigers. So Porcello is back out there. He started his 6th inning. And it'll be Nick Swisher to lead off. Swisher, Posada, then Russell Martin. Well, bullpen quiet for the Yankees. You figure Burnett will get a chance to start the 6th inning as the Yankees try to shorten this game with their terrific bullpen. Rafael Soriano, David Robertson, and of course Mariano Rivera. Tough team to come back on are the Yankees, especially with the last 2 pitchers, Robertson and Mariano Rivera, and with a day off tomorrow, no question they'll be out there for multiple innings if Girardi needs them.
I will say, though, if Burnett can get 3 more outs, he has set up that Yankee bullpen in perfect form for the last 9 outs.
The Tigers have the middle of their batting order coming up in the bottom of the 6th. Cabrera, Martinez, and then Don Kelly. As Swisher, there's a backhanded play by Santiago, and he makes the play. Well done. We're seeing some very good defense in this game by both teams.
Santiago's got his name in the lineup, and one of the reasons he plays is he does all the little things, and he's a little better defender than Rayburn. Goes to his right, and the easy throw to first base for the out.
One gone for Rick Porcello. And here's Jorge Posada. Was hit by a pitch. He scored a run. That was in the 3rd inning, part of that Derek Jeter 2 RBI double. Posada struck out looking to end the inning in the 4th. Joe Girardi was telling us, had it not been for the rain late in the season, which stacked up a number of doubleheaders, it's possible Posada never gets a chance to hit his way onto the postseason roster. But because of the rain, the silver lining and all of that, Posada played in those doubleheaders or those rain games, and he swung the bat very well, and he completely changed the mind of Joe Girardi. So much so that he started all 4 in this series as he lifts one in the air to Jackson. 2 outs for Porcello. Beautiful night in Detroit. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned, making tires that go the distance, inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Comerica Park, the jewel of downtown Detroit. Great ballpark. Opened up in 2000. They've had an all-star game here, a World Series back in 06. And they are hoping for more postseason baseball this year. Russell Martin with 2 away has 2 hits tonight against Porcello, both singles. And both right back up the middle.
He's been key for the Yankees 2 innings that they scored runs. You get production out of the bottom of that lineup, and you know what's turning over on top, and certainly has started 2 rallies.
A real steal for the Yankees. Russell Martin, who started his career with the Dodgers, was so outstanding early, kind of lost his way for a while, but has come back, and not only offensively has added to this great lineup, but also defensively in his calling of the game and the handling of his pitchers.
He also makes that great slide at home plate. If he doesn't do it anyway but that, he's more than likely out. And with all the different type of plays we've seen at home plate, a catcher going into a catcher, you don't see those kind of slides. Very athletic play.
In the air to right field. Back is Kelly. No problem. Out number 3, 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. So he is through 6, giving up 4 runs. The Tigers are down. They've got the middle of their order coming up. Tigers and the Yankees facing elimination tonight. They have responded with the bats. They lead 4-1. Miguel Cabrera will lead off, and A.J. Burnett is back on the mound in the 6th inning. Burnett has given up just 1 run, the home run by Victor Martinez to start the 4th. Miguel Cabrera takes a strike from Burnett. Cabrera, Martinez, Don Kelly due to hit in the 6th inning. And you know Joe Girardi would love to get Burnett through this 6th to set up his bullpen the rest of the way.
Well, nothing in this game is 100% and foolproof, but based on Mr. Rivera in the bullpen, you got about 2 innings to try and make up ground. Because if the Yankees have the lead, we all know how good that man is. And you play a game differently when you're facing the Yankees. It's a shorter game, period. Yep.
Well, with this 3-run lead, I like how AJ's going right after Cabrera.
Rick Porcello, terrific so far. I mean, you have to give him credit. He comes out, he holds a powerful Yankee lineup to 4 runs. He has certainly kept his club in the game and had a 1-2-3 6th inning that gives the Tigers a chance. Porcello with 2 2-run innings. Derek Jeter got him in the 3rd, and then it was Granderson and Rodriguez with RBIs in the 5th. Burnett facing a couple of guys who drove in over 100 runs this year. Cabrera and Martinez. And that one was ripped right at Derek Jeter. A bullet off the bat of Miguel Cabrera for the first out.
Well, as I talked about in the open, the key to A.J. Burnett was going to be his curveball. And he's out of balance here to follow through in the spin. He doesn't have the release point that you want to be consistent, and therefore he got himself in trouble. But when it's tight, watch how much more balance is. He can field his position. Everything's more under control. And, of course, the spin is much tighter, and you can throw it in the area you want to. So a credit to A.J. and his pitching coach for figuring something out quickly.
Now, they were in damage control in the first inning with 3 walks. Managed to get out of it. A line drive out for Kelly as Martinez pulls one foul. 3 strikeouts for A.J. Burnett. A discussion between Girardi and Rothschild about moving forward with A.J. Burnett.
Not many times they go to the phone when you get an out.
Yeah, there's not many. There's not many people not playing manager right now at home trying to figure out when the time is. He's done a great job. You got to tip your hat to A.J.
Now, you said, John, this could be a significant postseason moment for A.J. Burnett. He called on that experience for the World Series in '09 in Game 2, and he's had some hard-hit balls against him, but he's been able to navigate his way through this very good Detroit Tiger batting order. Martinez to Jeter. Nice easy hop for the Yankee shortstop. 2 gone for A.J. Burnett in the 6th. Now the big moment in this game, Burnett walking 3 in the first inning. One of them was intentional. Bases loaded. Don Kelly. He rips one to center field. Granderson took a step in, got frozen for a moment, and had to make this catch to end the inning and strand the bases loaded.
But credit A.J. Burnett in that instance. He got behind the hitter Kelly 1-0. He had walked 3 in the inning, and as John said, it was a moment to throw a strike and hope you make a catch, and they did.
The old Adam ball. It come in to help him big time.
And here is Don Kelly, 0 for 2. Kelly making his first start of this division series. Has had some playing time, normally a defensive replacement. And Kelly with a base hit. And now the wheels in motion in that Yankees dugout. A.J. Burnett gives up a 2-out single. Larry Rothschild back on the phone to the bullpen. Because this Tigers lineup, Ron, has so many home run hitters, they got power up and down. They're one swing away from making it a 1-run game again.
And after getting those first 2 outs, you don't want to get sloppy here with 2 outs. Mike Harkey, the bullpen coach, taking a peek at what Russell Martin going out to speak to A.J., maybe to stall, give their relievers a little more time.
Well, one of the things he's done well out of the stretch, because it's more simple. He don't have to swing. He hasn't given up any hits with runners on out of the stretch. A leadoff home run and then a leadoff double. And that simplistic approach has helped him, but that might be it.
So Joe Girardi in council with his coaching staff on his way to the mound. Girardi and Burnett on the mound have had some newsworthy moments, especially one in Minneapolis at Target Field late in the season. See what Joe Girardi wants to do, and he makes a call to the bullpen and look at the Yankees around him as Burnett will exit. Got to tip your hat to A.J. Burnett, 5 2/3, giving up just 1 run. A pressure-packed start for A.J. Burnett.
office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
A.J. Burnett, 5 2/3 tonight, gives up 4 hits. At this point, 1 run. As a base runner, still his responsibility. One of his better starts of the year, and it comes in the postseason with all of that pressure. Has a chance to win this one and send the Yankees back to Yankee Stadium. He'll turn the ball over to Rafael Soriano. 2 away. Johnny Peralta, the home run hitter, coming up as Soriano takes the ball. He was last night's losing pitcher. And Peralta on the first pitch, a little bit off the end of the bat. Long run for Granderson. He lays out, and he makes the catch. Curtis Granderson with a diving catch. He looks hurt. Out is the call. The inning is over as Granderson is shaken up. 2 plays tonight, saving a ton of runs. Curtis Granderson stretched out in center field. Okay, ran off, back of the dugout. How about this play, Ron Darling?
Well, a big swing, but the ball's off the end of the bat, and Granderson had to cover so much ground to finally get there, fully laid out, and catches that just in the end of the webbing of the glove. Just a fantastic play. 2 fantastic plays for Granderson in this ball game.
Well, how many runs has he saved? 3, maybe 4. Look at his reception from the Yankee dugout after that catch.
This adds to the notion when you've played and been with each other for 8 months that when you're in the postseason, it becomes almost like family this time in the dugout.
Well, I would argue these guys are some of the toughest guys in baseball, not necessarily because of their physique, but because of what they have to deal with on a daily basis in New York. Because there's so much expected of them, and you're either a hero or a goat this time of the year.
Oh, hero so far for Granderson.
And a final hug there from A.J. Burnett. So Burnett finishes just 1 earned run in 5 2/3. Soriano gets out of the 6th. And now it's Phil Koch, the former Yankee, on the mound for the Tigers. As we go to the 7th inning, 4-1 New York. The numbers for Koch during the regular season.
Well, you see those innings pitched. He started out in the rotation, was never comfortable there, much more comfortable out of the bullpen. Throws about 4 or 5 miles an hour harder out of the bullpen than he did as a starter.
Part of the Granderson trade, the trade between the Yankees and the Tigers, actually a 3-team, 7-player trade. The Arizona Diamondbacks were involved in that 3-team deal as well. And all 3 teams in the postseason. That was a trade prior to the 2010 season. Granderson has been on display tonight. Very familiar surroundings for him in center field at Comerica.
The different circumstances. We talked to Joe Girardi. He might even have batted for Gardner in this situation, but you won't. You got to lead 4-1. He's your almost played a Gold Glove left field all season long. You want to keep that glove in the lineup.
As Gardner takes a big cut. Whatever hurt Granderson on that dive, and he stayed down for a little bit as we went to commercial break, but eventually just popped right back up and he jogged in and he was all smiles. So maybe knocked the wind out a little bit, not sure. Don't want to speculate, but he's good to go now.
All I know is you got to be going really fast to slide this far. About 9.6 feet on the slide.
Yeah, look at Burnett's reaction. An inning ender for Granderson. He's had 2 inning enders tonight. No match for Phil Koch. Gardner, an easy strikeout for Koch. And 1 gone for the left-hander here in the 7th inning. One thing about Phil Koch, now that he's in a bullpen role, he's able to utilize that great arm of his. A big fastball, not on cruising speed when he comes out of the bullpen. Seems like a personality more fit for the bullpen as well.
Well, one of the things as a starter, the strikeout to walk ratio is a little bit not where you want it, and trying to figure out how you're going to feel the strike zone. Now he's just rearing back and throwing it. He's got an arm swing with a live fastball. Tennessee's to get it up a little bit, but right now with that velocity, you can get away with it in a 1-inning roll.
Jeter had a big hit in the 3rd inning, a 2 RBI double. The Yankees with 5 hits total, all against Rick Porcello, who goes 6 innings and 4 runs allowed.
The difference in this game might be the 2 fine plays from Granderson in center field, and Derek Jeter's double beating Austin Jackson over his head in center field.
Well, Derek Jeter in the first half, he did not have the power stroke. He was a singles hitter in the first half. You would have never have seen him hit one over Jackson's head in this ballpark. But something changed when he went back to Tampa. When he entered the calf, he worked on his swing, came back with a lot more power. And Jeter able to hit one over the head of the speedy Austin Jackson. Put the Yankees on the board. It quieted down this sellout crowd at Comerica. It was a very satisfying comeback season for Derek Jeter, you have to think. Everybody wondering about his bat, his production. Jeter ended up hitting .297. And he draws the walk. So Koch, after the strikeout, issues a 1-out walk. And here comes Curtis Granderson. Granderson has done some damage with his bat. He had an RBI double in the 5th inning, but it is his glove that will make headlines tomorrow.
Every center fielder will tell you the ball right at you, over your head is the toughest one to read. Granderson reads it properly, and this one's a tough read because it's off the end of the bat. Had to go a long way for that catch. Totally laid out, and a big play, defensive play for these Yankees.
Granderson, 16 home runs against lefties, most in the majors, and certainly that vast improvement has allowed his totals to reach some MVP type numbers.
41 home runs this year for Granderson. The two major questions that Granderson faced as a hitter when he was a member of the Tigers: could he hit lefties? Could he cut down on the strikeouts? Had a 30 home run season for Detroit in 09. And then traded to the Yankees his second year in pinstripes.
It was only last year that they were thinking that they were going to have to platoon Granderson. They gave him 3-4 days off. He worked with a tutorial with Kevin Long, the hitting coach, and they changed and shortened his stroke, and he's become one of the fine power hitters in this Yankee lineup.
22 strike home runs to boot.
Lifts that one high in the air to center. Jackson release under it. Second out for Phil Koch. Jeter retreats to first. And that's going to set up a matchup between Koch and Robinson Cano.
Phil Koch's got to be glad to have gotten in the game. I don't know if there's anybody that's warmed up more in the first 3 games than Phil Koch and not got in the game. So at least to get in and get that adrenaline rush, because if there is a game 5, I'm sure he could play a big part in some stretches where he's got to get some left-handers out.
Well, these specialty lefties, they love to come in and face left-handed hitters. Robinson Cano would not be one of those. Just equally great against not only right-handed pitching but left-handed pitching.
Robinson Cano hit .304 this year. I beg your pardon, .314 this year against left-handed pitching.
Sometimes takes a little different approach against the lefties. If they're pitching him fastballs away, he will go that way with the pitch.
For Robinson Cano, as a pitcher facing a guy like him, he never looks off balance. He looks completely like it's just, he knows what's coming. He sits back there and his swing does all the damage. He doesn't have to generate much with his body. And when he does that to a pitcher, he puts fear.
He's way too comfortable,
yeah,
isn't he?
Way too comfortable. And he shows it. He's put up unbelievable numbers.
Cano in the center. And Jackson is there. Line drive out. Inning is over. Koch puts up a 0 in the 7th. Stretch time in Detroit. Yankees lead it 4-1. Under the Tuesday night lights of Comerica Park in Detroit. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Time is running out for the Tigers. It is 4-1 Yankees. Rafael Soriano back on the mound. Avila the batter. Alex Rodriguez takes care of him. 1 pitch, 1 out for Rafael Soriano. He has 2 outs. He hasn't had to work much in this game.
We've seen that a couple times, haven't we, in this game, John? With the Tigers down, they have not taken any pitches. They first pitch swinging. Santiago hit into a double play with Jackson on first base, and now Avila, hitting that first pitch, not trying to work the count a little bit to try to get on base.
Well, look, when you're trying to get your first hit and you think sometimes you can rush the pitcher, no matter what the scenario is in the score, you think that's your best chance to feel good. The bat just looks a little slow through the zone, and so far he doesn't have much to show for it.
Wilson Benavides takes a strike from Soriano. Benavides is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice in this game. He was at the plate with a runner at third base in the 4th. And Burnett struck him out with a curveball. That has been the hole in the swing for Wilson Benavides.
Well, one thing you can be assured of, anybody who comes out of that pen now for the Yankees, it's not going to be like they're going to walk themselves into trouble. It's just going to be because you have to get some hits.
Chased another one. Martin blocks and secures the strikeout at first base. 2 gone. 2 up, 2 down for Soriano. Say a reminder, you can catch all the action of the 2011 Major League Baseball Division Series on TBS. Join the postseason debate at MLBFancave.com and follow the action on Twitter with the hashtag postseason. Legends are born in October. Back to the top of the order, Austin Jackson with 2 away. Tigers with 4 hits tonight. Jackson has 1 of them. The Tigers were able to claw their way back into this series with a Game 2 victory, stealing away home field. If the Yankees win tonight, the Yankees get it right back. They answer, and they go back to Yankee Stadium for Game 5 Thursday. Out in front, in the infield, Cano wants it, and Rafael Soriano, 4 big outs for the Yankees out of the bullpen. Girardi has it to his late inning relievers. The Yankees lead 4-1. brought to you by the Nissan Versa sedan. Innovation upsize, innovation for all. And two of the better bullpens as far as home runs allowed during the regular season. The Tigers allowing just 39, a much bigger ballpark. It's a story that the Yankees bullpen only allowed 42 in their stadium. As we head to the 8th, don't forget over on TNT, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers are at it. That is an elimination game for the Diamondbacks. The Brewers can advance to the NLCS with a victory tonight in Phoenix. It is 3-1 Arizona in the 4th inning. That ball game over on TNT. And here on TBS, we move into the 8th. Alex Rodriguez leads off. Phil Koch for his 2nd inning of work. The Yankees get 5 2/3 from A.J. Burnett, just 1 earned run. Soriano retires 4 straight, goes an inning and a third on just 9 pitches. After surrendering the go-ahead home run yesterday, as Rodriguez whistles one to center. That's a base hit. Alex Rodriguez has his first hit of the ALDS.
Big smile by A-Rod. That bat is starting to speed up a little bit. Said you want the ball.
Even at this time, you can have a little fun in the high pressure situation these guys are in. If you can't enjoy it, it's going to swallow you up.
Now Teixeira turns around right-handed against Koch. Phil Koch trying to keep the Yankees at 4. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th inning, the Tigers will have the big part of their order coming up. 2, 3, and 4. It's Santiago, Delman Young, Miguel Cabrera. If anybody gets on, Victor Martinez. And that's the part of the order that Leland wants to get something done in the bottom of the 8th. Teixeira, slow roller, third base, and that is a fair ball and a base hit.
Don't understand that play by Bedemeat. If you're not going to make the play at first base, let that ball bounce, stand behind the base. Maybe it'll take one kick left of the bag.
All right, chopper off the plate. Normally these have some spin on it, and this ball actually went the other way, hitting the cutout.
It did.
Right on top of the plate, hit the cutout and went the other way.
You rarely see that.
It always goes the other way.
Right, toward the dugouts. But once Bedemeat saw that bounce, he had to put a glove on it so it didn't get by him. So an infield hit, 1st and 2nd now for the Yankees.
One thing you also see at other stadiums, there's a little patch of dirt between the foul line and the grass.
Yeah.
Here, the grass goes right to the foul line. There's very little room for that ball to get in that gutter and kick left.
There'll be a little press conference with the grounds crew today after the game.
That's a break for Teixeira. His 2nd hit of this postseason. Nick Swisher with 2 on. Well, the task is tough enough for the Tigers down 3 with David Robertson and Mariano Rivera ahead. Imperative that Koch keeps the Yankees at 4. Meanwhile, New York, they certainly know they can deliver a knockout punch here in this 8th inning. That's the way they normally bounce.
That one stayed foul.
Jeter and Soriano. Jeter had the big hit in the third. Open up the scoring for the Yankees. Soriano bridges the gap to David Robertson, the setup man. Swisher looking for a big hit in the postseason. Starting to develop as a story for him in his postseason career. He is 0 for 28 with runners in scoring position. Hasn't had a hit in the postseason. His postseason experience with the Athletics, the White Sox, and now the Yankees. And there is that base hit. Rodriguez around third will stop there. The bases are loaded for the Yankees. 3 consecutive singles against Phil Koch.
Well, you can see Peralta shading up the middle. Just a huge hole between Betemit and Peralta. And Swisher sneaks it through.
Bases loaded, nobody out. And of course, Jorge Posada, the scheduled hitter, but Girardi is going to bring him back. And he is going to give an at-bat to one of his young prospects who made this postseason roster with a late surge, Jesus Montero. Powerful right-handed hitter. One of the top catching prospects in the Yankee system, and that's going to force a move from Jim Leyland. So Leyland will play the matchup here. Koch is done. He'll leave with the bases loaded. And the Yankees maybe one swing away from putting this one away in the 8th inning. You never know. It's going to be Albuquerque in the game. We'll take a break. We'll take a look at Albuquerque when we come back. We are in Detroit. It is game 4, and this one could be headed back to New York, barring a late comeback for the Detroit Tigers. Brian Anderson with John Smoltz, Ron Darling, Tom Verducci, Comerica Park in Detroit, and the Yankees with a 4-1 lead. And let's check in with Tom Verducci downstairs. Tom?
Well, the Yankees are the first team this postseason to face an elimination game on the road, and that has not been a comfortable position for them. Go back to the Game 7 2001 World Series. They've been on the road for an elimination game 5 times, lost all 5 of those games, including one right here in Detroit in 06.
Trying to push it to another day. Thanks, Tom. Al Albuquerque is the new pitcher. Jesus Montero is the hitter off the bench. Also have a pinch runner at first base. Chris Dickerson running for Nick Swisher.
Talk about throwing into the fire. Albuquerque now twice has been brought in by Leyland with the bases loaded.
Yeah, welcome to the postseason, kid.
Robinson Cano hit the grand slam off Albuquerque at Yankee Stadium in Game 1. He has a devastating slider. It has been his best pitch. He did not give up a home run the entire season in the regular season in his rookie year. And he hung a slider against Robinson Cano, and Cano put it away. Now Montero trying to do the same.
pitch, another little slider in the middle of the plate. It didn't do anything, and just a long home run grand slam for Cano, who now has 4 grand slams to go back to the regular season, his last 7 at bats.
The 21-year-old Jesus Montero. Well, he did some damage. That's a balk. Albuquerque called for a balk by the home plate umpire. And the runners will advance. Rodriguez will score. 5-1 Yankees.
I think what you're going to see here is that he broke his hands before he stepped off the mound. You want to step back, but you don't want to break your hands first. So he breaks his hands before that back foot gets off the rubber. That is a balk. What you have to do is you step off the rubber, then you break your hands.
Big cut by Montero, and that's something every pitcher knows. I mean, it didn't look like much, but it was called immediately. No argument.
It was enough, and you didn't see Jimmy Leland going out, so that gives you the best indication. Interesting, the rookie Montero swinging 3-0.
Montero has big power, hit 4 homers in just 18 games for the Yankees after being called up from the minor leagues. The Yankees are loaded with catching prospects in their system. They've got Montero, Austin Romine, caught at Double-A this year, and a young catcher down in Single-A named Gary Sanchez. So they've stacked themselves pretty heavy on a premier position in baseball, and Montero is at the top of the list,
which is pretty rare. Most organizations have a dearth of catching prospects.
He hit 18 home runs in the minor leagues this year at Triple-A. And that gets by Betemit. That's a base hit. In to score is Teixeira. They will hold Dickerson as Jesus Montero in his first postseason at bat comes up with an RBI single, and the Yankees now lead it 6-1 over the Tigers.
Well, Betemit in just enough topspin on this baseball as it eludes him, goes right over the top of his glove after the dive. Montero's one of those guys that hits the ball awfully hard, had a lot of topspin, got by Betemit, and another run for the Yankees.
So a balk and an RBI single. 2 more runs are in. 6-1 New York. Still nobody out as Russell Martin takes one upstairs. I guess there has to be some concern for Jim Leland about Al Albuquerque. You know, he's given up his first balk. He gave up his first home run, which is a grand slam. A young pitcher in his first season who was lights out, had so much success during the regular year, and has had none in the postseason so far.
Well, 2 tough situations to come into. No room for error. I highly doubt a lot of those situations happened in the regular season, but there's a different breathing method. There's a different thing that goes into squeezing the baseball. The freedom of throwing a baseball in the regular season is a little different than the postseason.
Pitching coach Jeff Jones going to come out and settle down his rookie right-hander.
What you talked about early in the open, Ron, the inability to hit with runners in scoring position. The Yankees have been awfully different today. 4 for 9, and have delivered at the right time for them to extend this series and get back to their friendly confines, Yankee Stadium.
Yankees one of the better winning percentages at home in the big leagues this year. They were 52-29 in their home stadium. So Jeff Jones has had his say. Albuquerque back to work. The Tigers bring their infield in with nobody out, and Albuquerque misses again.
Montero was swinging 3-0. Will Martin swing 3-0?
Ball 4. Bases loaded. 4 hits and a walk to start the 8th inning. And it is unraveling quickly for the Tigers. And Leland has no choice here. He has to make another move. Back to the bullpen goes Jim Leland. With some major questions with this young pitcher. He was such a valuable piece of the Tigers bullpen down the stretch. He was the man who got it to Benoit, who then got it to Valverde, but he has struggled twice in this postseason. We'll take a break. Division Series coverage begins on TBS at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with MLB On Deck, presented by Chrysler. The Phillies and the Cardinals. It'll be Roy Oswalt against Edwin Jackson. That's at 6 o'clock on TBS. That'll be Game 4. Cardinals down 2-1. The Brewers and the Diamondbacks, if necessary, Game 4 at 9:30. If there's a single game, MLB On Deck at 7:30 p.m., followed by Phillies Cardinals. So we'll see how it goes with the Diamondbacks and the Brewers, who are playing right now on TNT. Daniel Schlereth, the new pitcher. 5 batters in this inning, 4 hits and a walk. Still nobody out, and the bases loaded for the Yankees. And it is 6-1 with Brett Gardner coming up. The Yankees have just applied a steady attack tonight. They scored 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th. They've added 2 here in the 8th. And threatening for a big inning to put this one away and send it back to New York for Game 5 Thursday. Gardner has a hit tonight. He's 1 for 3. He singled and scored a run in the 5th inning. Now with 4 hits in 4 games of this American League Division Series. And that one ripped to center field, down for a hit. In to score, Dickerson. Montero will be held. And the line keeps moving. A snap throw to third. Montero is back safely. Base is still loaded. Another run is in. And the Tigers are having a hard time getting an out in this 8th inning.
Yeah, this is a situation right here. We're playing loose. Everything feels good. Another base hit. And if you're the Yankees, you're kind of hoping that you don't have that day off tomorrow. And you can just keep going and keep motoring. But there will be a day off tomorrow. Each team will refocus and try to establish themselves in a better way come Game 5.
How about another RBI for Gardner? The money in this series.
Even Rafael Soriano has a bat in his hands. So here's Jeter back to the top of the order. 6 consecutive base runners for the Yankees.
Well, for as weird as this series started, Both teams using 2 starters in game 1. They're going to be relying on more than likely those game 1 starters to pitch game 5. Pfister for Detroit and Nova for the Yankees. They used 2 starters, but 2 of them actually were relievers.
Technically relievers, right.
Yeah.
That's right. Bullpen appearances by Nova and Pfister. Pfister, you look at his numbers from that game, and not indicative of how he pitched. I thought he pitched a pretty decent ball game until he ran into trouble at the end, but I think the Tigers are very confident with Doug Pfister and what he's able to do to the Yankees.
Well, those numbers look bad at the end because of the grand slam by Cano off Albuquerque.
Did he go? No, he didn't, says Ted Barrett.
See that check swing? Boy, awfully close. He definitely could have called that. Schlereth during the season with the bases loaded gave up a couple of grand slams.
And Jeter able to check it again. 7-1 New York. The first 3 runs that have scored in this inning, the runs so far, belong to Phil Koch, who goes an inning plus. He worked a scoreless 7th. Did not get an out in the 8th. Jim Leyland said Justin Verlander was done for the DS. You wouldn't see him again until the ALCS. We'll see about that. Verlander was the winner last night, struck out 11 in 8 innings, giving the Tigers a 2-1 advantage in this series. But the Yankees have come back, and they have slugged their way back. 7 runs on 10 hits. Jeter does swing at that one. Schlereth strikes him out. The first out of the 8th inning. As we check in with Matt Weiner in Atlanta. Thank you, Matt. Josh Colmenter and Sean Markham. A couple of starting pitchers who get outs. Very unusual manner. Not the overpowering stuff either way. Markham and Colmenter. Good ball game going in Arizona. Granderson takes a strike.
Both those pitchers have outstanding changeups. Kind of pitch backwards sometimes. Using that good breaking pitches early in the count. Finishing off hitters with their fastball.
A lot of Tigers fans certainly connected to the Arizona Diamondbacks through Kirk Gibson, D-backs manager.
Alan Trammell.
Alan Trammell is bench coach. Yeah, you bet. You can't walk 5 feet at Comerica Park without seeing a Kirk Gibson image.
Avila has taken a beating. He's hurt his knee already, and this one right off the top of his kneecap. I don't care how much equipment you have on, that hurts.
I guarantee you there was something said in that Yankee clubhouse similar to, hey boys, we got to go home. We might as well take a team with us. And if the Tigers are going to go back to New York, they're going to bring some extra luggage because they want to go out west if they're going to continue their season. So Yankees either way going home knowing they're going to stay there one way or the other. They're going to win and keep playing at home. But at least they forced the team to come home with them so far.
Bases loaded for Granderson. Able to lay off. The Texas Rangers advancing. Texas, the first team to advance to the League Championship Series. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1. Adrian Beltre with 3 home runs today for the Rangers. And when you asked Joe Girardi about his struggling offense, he was quick to give you the numbers on Adrian Beltre, Ron. 1 for 11 prior to today's performance, the 3 home run game. Now, if you're the Texas Rangers, you're hoping these two teams not only go 5, but play all night on Thursday.
Deplete all their pitching.
And that gets away, bounces over the net and into the stands. And it gets a little uglier in the 8th inning for the Tigers. Another run is in. Have a run scored on a base hit, an RBI the old-fashioned way. You've had a balk. And now a wild pitch brings in a run.
It really turns over that slider. Really nothing that Avila could do. He tried to get his body in front of that, glanced off his left arm, and went over the backstop.
Once again, 3 straight pitches, trying to make the perfect pitch after getting him 0-2. That's what this guy at the plate will make a pitcher do. Spin it harder, trying to make that perfect pitch. He's thrown them all in the dirt.
And he strikes him out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Schlereth. He gets Jeter and Granderson, 2 away in the inning, and the 9th batter of the inning, Robinson Cano, will step in.
Tell you, he does something that you don't see a lot of pitchers do. He taps that ball as he's delivering the ball to home plate for some kind of rhythm, and what he's just always done. May not even know he's doing it.
You'll see that in fielders a lot, that they'll tap the glove with the ball in their hand before they deliver the ball to the first baseman.
Robbie Cano is 0 for 3. He was intentionally walked in the 5th inning.
Watch Avila back there. That athletic move, spinning him around.
Just made a friend out of Dan Isonia. You can guarantee that. Took one right off his arm. Four runs in for the Yankees. First 4 batters reached via hits. Then there was a walk, and then another hit. 6 consecutive base runners to start the inning. And a little jam shot. Cano drops one into left field, and this will bring 2 in. As Robinson Cano with 2 RBIs, and the Yankees are pouring it on in the Motor City now. 10-1 New York. Cano now with 8 runs batted in the 4 games of this ALDS. Leland is on his way to the mound, and the fans are headed for the exits. Schlereth is out. We'll take a timeout. 10-1 New York. Downtown Detroit, the Yankees a 10-1 lead. Ron, you talked about this in our open today, and Joe Girardi calling on his big hitters, his superstars, to deliver, and they have so far.
We chided them before the game that they had to do better, and they did, of course. Jeter with a couple RBIs on that big double, Teixeira with a run scored, and another RBI by Rodriguez, 3 in this series.
The Yankees have scored 6 runs in this 8th inning on 6 hits. And the new pitcher, Ryan Perry, Alex Rodriguez, a swing and a miss.
A lot of good arms in that pen. Can they hone in the stuff when it counts the most here coming into game 5? There's no such thing as a good loss, but for the Tigers, this might be one of those things where they just said, okay, it wasn't our game. We can get them in game 5.
Another base hit. Well, the Yankees look like they cannot be finished off here in this 8th inning.
Wow. Well, you've seen a lot of inexperience coming out of that bullpen for Jim Leyland. But the one thing you do not like to see is Rodriguez, who has struggled this entire series. That bat speed is now starting to quicken. He's starting to get hot, getting a little confidence, and that's not a good thing for the Tigers.
Alex Rodriguez 0 for 12 prior to this inning, and now 2 hits in this inning. Has 3 runs batted in. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 5th. And the beat goes on for the Yankees. A relentless offense, and in their full force here in this 8th. Well, you have to believe Yankees fans are glad to see this. Their offense was in question. They had a big game in game 1. Really, it was Cano and Gardner in game 1. But the Tiger pitching staff, and Justin Verlander is a big part of that, of course, yesterday, shutting them down for games 2 and 3, and now unloading on the Tigers today. 10 runs, 12 hits.
And I think most people are going to think that they came out of their cocoon in this game. Don't forget that yesterday's game off, Verlander had some of his best stuff. They did get 4 runs off him, so I think part of that process started yesterday.
Now, with a 6-run inning on the board, is your plan for Girardi still to go Robertson, still to go Rivera to try to finish this one off, or does it change now?
I don't know if Robertson is as important as Rivera. I think Rivera has to get an inning in with the off day on Thursday.
Which would mean another non-save opportunity for Mariano Rivera. He pitched in a 9-3 ball game in game 1.
I felt as though Robertson's control was a little off, so he could use an inning to get back out there and get 3 outs, and then Rivera pitched the 9th.
Teixeira rips one right field. Kelly, playing deep, is there to make the catch, and this inning is finally over for the Tigers. But the Yankees, big damage, 6 runs in the 8th. They lead 10-1. Everything Goodyear has learned, making tires that go the distance, inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. A marathon half inning. The Yankees score 6 runs on 7 hits. And the itsy bitsy Spider doing all that work. There was no web there when that inning began. Now it is there. And
not Charlotte's web, Burnett's web tonight.
Yep, A.J. Burnett, 5 2/3. He is in line for the victory here tonight. Lost in all of the offense. 10 runs on 12 hits for the Yankees now. And Girardi has made his move. How about that 8th inning, though? 6 runs for the Yanks. Tigers had to use 4 pitchers. It lasts over 35 minutes.
Yankees hitters 3, 4, 5, 6 last night. 0 for 14. Tonight they had 5 hits in the 8th inning alone.
And that means Girardi can go with Phil Hughes to get him back on the mound. And perhaps Phil Hughes to finish it. You never know. We'll see how Girardi goes. Phil Hughes dealing with some back spasms when he finally came back. A regular season to forget, but perhaps a postseason to remember for Phil Hughes. Now, Phil Hughes was up early in this game. A.J. Burnett struggling a little bit in the 4th inning. A lot of time between warm-ups in this one. Santiago gets a piece of Russell Martin.
It's a foul ball off the bat of Santiago. Doesn't follow through on that ball right off the top of Martin's knee.
Just like Avila on the other knee. That has to be, for a manager at this point of a ball game, in a 10-1 game, your greatest fear, to lose a player to injury, but especially to lose a catcher, especially 2 catchers like this, very good catchers.
10-1 game. Martin still blocking the ball in the dirt.
Each crowd has had an opportunity to get into 1 game each. And now the Yankees will have that 3rd game, which they worked so hard to get home field advantage, to flex their muscles.
Santiago strikes out. Martin makes the play to secure the strikeout at first base. Boy, what a good catcher he is. Bouncing around, making a play.
The oddity of this series already, I know game 5s are always get what you get, and it doesn't always go to a game 5. But Mariano Rivera has not gotten a save in only 2 series. They lost both those series. This could be the first where he doesn't get a save and his team moves on. Because when you think of the Yankees, you think of Mariano Rivera at the end of the game, and there hasn't been 2 of those victories yet for the Yankees where he's had to come in and get huge outs.
Rivera finished off game 1. Didn't take him long. 3 pitches to end the ball game at a 9-3 Yankee win. That was Nova's victory. And a 9-3 Yankee win in game 1. Tigers winning the middle 2, and a 10-1 Yankee lead here in game 4 as Young lifts one high in the air, playable. Chris Dickerson makes a catch. 2 outs. Ivan Nova back on the mound. He'll have the start in game 5, barring a miraculous comeback by the Tigers. And Doug Fister for Detroit. Miguel Cabrera 0 for 2 of the walk. There's Ivan Nova.
Before this game got out of control, much of the good pitching was done by Burnett and Soriano. 2 players that have been burdened by heavy contracts, but a little redemption here in their 166th game.
Yeah, you guys brought that up, and having been on the mound in moments like this in the postseason, that you have that opportunity of redemption. Baseball is a great game for redemption anyway because there's so much failure. But for Burnett and Soriano, both in the crosshairs for a good part of the season, this is going to be a good memory for Yankees fans to latch onto, that they could push their team to game 5 and help the Yankees return to Yankee Stadium. and have a chance to move on. Cabrera strikes out Phil Hughes. 10-1 Yankees. Tigers coming up, bottom of the 8th. Next after MLB postseason coverage only on TBS. 10-1 our score. The Yankees score 6 runs on 7 hits in the 8th inning. And put it away here in the 9th. It's Chris Dickerson getting his first postseason at bat. And on the first pitch, he's out. 1 away. Ryan Perry trying to finish it out here.
We said it early. Both teams are set up for whoever can win this series. They're set up to have their aces start the next series. CC Sabathia, of course, for the Yankees, and Verlander for the Tigers. But I think what, Ron, is even more important, the Yankees could not win the World Series with just 3 starters. They do need a 4th starter, and maybe they may have found one today.
I mean, confidence has to be very high for A.J. Burnett, who pitched wonderfully. The manager's got to have a lot of confidence in him after the effort tonight. I mean, it's hard to go on a start where everyone feels like you're going to fail.
It is, and he's had to deal with that more than anybody else that we can think of.
He's put himself in that position.
He has.
Montero, that is a foul ball up the arm of Benavides.
And I think sometimes you can misread somebody's body language.
Yeah.
And for AJ, he just doesn't, he's not very demonstrative. We all know him for the pie in the face and, you know, liking to have fun. And when things are going good, that all seems well. And when it's not, it looks bad.
It's like golf clubs on the road, John.
For some organizations.
No, but we were talking about before, Robinson Cano early in his career thought that he was nonchalant playing, but that's part of his style. And now that he's established himself, we call it silky smooth.
Montero, a sinking line drive, a base hit. Well, Jesus Montero, he gets 2 postseason at-bats, and he delivers with 2 hits. This guy's going to be a good hitter. The Yankees are very high on this 21-year-old.
The guy now on the Yankees used to be my teammate Andrew Jones, had that little smirk that looked like he didn't, it just was a mannerism that wasn't indicative of how he just did everything so easy, and that little smirk was like, I can't believe I just struck out. or I can't believe I made an out.
Bouncing ball to short. Peralta to second. Santiago turns it for the double play. Inning over. Last call for the Tigers. 10-1 New York. Tomorrow with the National League Division Series. Coverage begins on TBS 5:30 p.m. Eastern with MLB On Deck presented by Chrysler. At the Phillies and the Cardinals, Game 4, that's at 6 o'clock. Brewers, Diamondbacks, if necessary, Game 4 at 9:30. And if there's a single game, MLB On Deck at 7:30 p.m., followed by Phillies Cardinals. 10-1, bottom of the ninth. And our final trip here to Comerica Park in this American League Division Series, and these two seats are reserved. Sparky Anderson, in honor of the great Tiger manager, World Series winning manager, and the legendary Ernie Harwell, both passing away recently. Ernie Harwell a couple of years ago, Sparky Anderson this past offseason. Two of the legends here in Detroit. Sparky Anderson, the first manager to win World Series in each league, and Ernie Harwell, a great mentor to any broadcaster who works. And that's a nice touch. They leave those two seats vacant for every game, including postseason games here at Comerica. Boone Logan is the new Yankee pitcher. This is the first postseason, of course, without Sparky Anderson and Ernie Harwell being a part of it. The Tigers still wear that patch for Sparky Anderson on their right sleeve. Matter of fact, two teams wearing a Sparky patch this year, the Reds and the Tigers.
Well, Sparky Anderson was just a great manager, great character, great person, just so positive. I went to the Hall of Fame with my son Jordan, and we met Sparky Anderson, and I introduced him, and he said, you know, son, the first time I saw your father playing in college, he was playing against Purdue, and he listed all my stats in the first game, all my stats in the second game. And my son said, Dad, did he get any of that stuff right? I said, he got every single thing right.
They had a great day for him, a ceremony on June 26th. The Diamondbacks were here in interleague play. And great moment for Kirk Gibson, Alan Trammell to be here for that, and certainly scheduled that for those two while they were here. He won that World Series with the Tigers in '84, part of the Big Red Machine. with the Cincinnati Reds in the mid-70s, into the Hall of Fame in the year 2000. Passed away November 4th. This past off season. And his protege now managing a postseason team, Kirk Gibson. Martinez says it hit the bat. Isonia disagrees, and it's a strikeout for Boone Logan.
You know, Brian, I know you have your own stories of the great Mr. Harwell, but the first time I ever met him was at old Tiger Stadium, and I got to the park early. I'd played my whole career in the National League, finally in the American League. I get there. He comes into the locker room, shakes my hand. He said, "I've always wanted to meet you. Have you ever been to Tiger Stadium?" I said, "No, I haven't." He said, "Would you like a tour?"
Wow.
I said, "Yeah, I would." And that's the kind of person he was.
Yeah, he was a great man, and it's hard to believe because he's a Hall of Fame broadcaster, but he was a better person than he was a broadcaster, and he was historically great as a broadcaster and the voice of Detroit baseball for so many years. That deep baritone voice. Now we miss him.
You grew up listening to that voice, didn't you, John?
I did. Set my alarm on the West Coast when I'd have to go to school and get about 3 innings in before I fall asleep.
Ryan Rayburn fouls one away. Rayburn getting an at-bat here in the 9th inning. Ernie Harwell into the Hall of Fame in 1981. He was here in Detroit 42 years. Got his start. He was actually traded for a player. He was filling in for Red Barber, the Brooklyn Dodgers. He's the only broadcaster ever traded for a player. Every broadcaster wants to be traded for a player, but he was the only one, Ernie Harwell.
I'm looking at us three so far.
Play-by-play guy, I guess.
You got one of those calls he would make on like a strike 3? Can you do one for us?
I don't know. Have to see. I think my favorite Ernie call as Rayburn strikes out. Didn't work in an Ernie moment. Had he taken that for a call strike 3,
what would it be like?
He would have gotten him for excessive window shopping. That was a good setup, John. 2 outs in the inning. And here's Johnny Peralta. Well, they will wake up and know that there is a Game 5 Thursday night, 8 Eastern, right here on TBS. A 6-run, 7-hit 8th inning. Yankees brought 11 to the plate in the 8th inning and put this one away.
Well, if you're nervous about weather predictions, and as you should be maybe in New York, it calls for sunny and 65. So maybe bring an umbrella. They haven't been able to get it right while we were there.
Oh, that's all.
Even on the sunny day, on Sunday, it rained. Rained on a couple of Yankees rallies, actually. Peralta fouls one away. A ball and a strike on Peralta. Tigers down to their last out. Doug Fister for the Tigers will try to pitch him into the LCS in the American League. And it'll be Ivan Nova for the Yankees. The rookie right-hander. So impressive. Finishing up game 1.
He had an unbelievable year, and you know, you got to tip your hat to a guy who had to deal with some circumstances of going down, and probably in any other club wouldn't. But it's going to be real interesting to see if it's a tight ball game how he does, because he has pitched better than anybody with the lead and fluid motion, and just doesn't seem like anything bothers him.
Also in that game at Yankee Stadium, you didn't have to take the mound first. You know, Fister had to take the mound, let him kind of get his emotions around that, but starting the game is going to add to those emotions.
Strikes out the side, does Boone Logan, and that is that. The New York Yankees on an elimination Tuesday will see a Game 5. Big offensive outburst by the Yankees. They got a crucial start from A.J. Burnett, and the Yankees have to feel great headed back to Yankee Stadium, where they play so well in their comfortable surroundings, and they have a chance to advance. They keep their hopes alive in 2011. Impressive win by the Yankees, John.
Yeah, very much so. And A.J. Burnett is going to get a lot of that props as he kept his team in it. First inning could have got ugly. Great defense behind him. But more importantly, between Larry Rothschild and him, they made an in-game adjustment you don't see too often. And what an adjustment they made to keep him going.
Well, think about it this way. Curtis Granderson only had one hit. He probably had the most important play in this game in the first inning. Just two amazing catches. The one in the first inning with the bases loaded over his head saved Burnett at least three earned runs, and was the difference in the game.
As we send it down to Tom Verducci. Tom?
Well, Curtis Granderson in a 10-1 game, if it's possible to qualify for a save, you may get one. Ending 2 of the first 6 innings with catches with a total of 4 runners on base. Take us through those catches, starting with the first inning. Bases loaded, Don Kelly at bat.
Don Kelly put a great swing on the ball to the middle of the field and hit it really hard. And talking to Andrew Jones, probably one of the greatest center fielders, he said that's one of the toughest balls too, because you don't know if it's going to fall in front of you or take off like it did, and somehow was able to stay in the right spot and make a play on it.
6th inning, Peralta hits a ball, looked like it came off the end of the bat. Tell us about that catch.
That was an interesting one because I was a little bit out of position, partly because I'm playing the odds of where I think he's going to possibly hit it, and then Gardner's out of position as well. The ball hung up a little bit longer than we thought it was going to, and I was able to go ahead and extend long enough to be able to catch it. I knocked the wind out of it. That's the reason why I ended up staying down so long.
I also have to mention the double. At the time, it was a 2-1 game. We doubled in a run for the Yankees. How important is it that everybody in the lineup had a hit as you go into a Game 5?
Very important. I think the big thing as the game went on, guys continued to get better at bats out there. You have to give Porcello credit because he pitched great throughout the game and had us off balance, and guys stuck to their plan, were able to make adjustments as the game went on, and got a couple hits to fall as the game went on.
Now look ahead now to a Game 5 at Yankee Stadium with Ivan Nova on the mound.
Hey, he's been great for us all season long. Don't expect anything different for him out there 2 days from now. At the same time, Detroit's going to come. They're going to get a day off. They're going to be energetic and ready to go too.
Curtis Granderson, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. He does it with a smile. He beats you with a smile, Curtis Granderson. And he does big damage to his former club, the club that brought him to the big leagues, the Detroit Tigers. The Yankees, even this series, had 2 game apiece, and we are headed for a Game 5. Nothing like a Game 5 in the division series, and that's where we are headed Thursday. Our final score tonight, the Yankees win it 10-1 over the Tigers. Right now on TNT, Game 3 between the Brewers and the Diamondbacks ongoing. For Ron Darling, John Smoltz, Tom Verducci, and the rest of our crew, I'm Brian Anderson saying goodbye from Detroit. TBS is your exclusive home for the entire division series and the National League Championship Series. We'll see you in New York on Thursday. Now, after the break, we'll send it to Matt Weiner in our Atlanta studio. So long from the Motor City, everyone.